Welcome back to SimCity Part 7, I think, although I could be wrong. And this is Eco Town, a town that I planned to have small, but it's grown. I couldn't contain myself, so I went on a bit of a building spree, and I added in quite a lot of services. I've got 2 police stations, 2 fire stations, and 2 medical clinics. What I wanted to do was to let this town run and just see the way it will develop without me doing very much except kind of overseeing it. And if you let a town, I haven't done it today, but I wanted to actually let the simulation run and then go off and do something else. And if you do that, the only thing you need to make sure doesn't stop working is not one thing, it's probably about 3 things. You will get away with having perhaps not enough ambulances and not enough police. You will lose some buildings if you don't have a fire department, but you will really run into serious trouble if your power goes out for whatever reason. And that's why over there in the corner you see I have put in a nuclear power plant, which should keep us running here for quite a while, although I can see it's actually dropped a bit already. But as the population goes up, that's one thing you need to keep an eye on. And there is the water. I've maxed out a water plant power. I've just seen that, and the sewage thing is maxed out as well. Because those three things, if they stop, then this all will go to hell fairly quickly. And when you come back, you'll have nothing but rubble. So I've speeded it up. I started off just really with this square here, and that was all I had in the last episode. And I had this idea that I would just stick to this area, develop everything as much as possible, play around with this small area of buildings, and then add different things to the rest of the square. But like I say, I couldn't contain myself. I don't even know what this is. Wow, this is a very weird looking. I added some what are they called? Some attractions here, some tourist attractions. I have got 3 little casinos here. I'm earning quite a bit of money at the moment. I've got the head office here, which has been upgraded once. And I'm having quite a lot of trouble with fires, but I do have an extra fire station somewhere. What I did that I like is I put this fancy circular roundabout thing here with these parks. These are 2 parks joined together. That has meant that all this area here, the land value is very, very high. So there's a lot of wealthy buildings around here. Otherwise, it would be interesting to see how this all plays out. I don't seem to be able to get beyond 80% here. That seems to be all it is. And there's a fair supply of medium wealth and high wealth all around here, and the population is quite big. I've got 3 bus depots, 1 train station, so I've got plenty of buses, which hopefully is going to keep the traffic from getting too crazy. Although I'm not sure there's any way to completely solve the traffic problems in this game. It doesn't look too bad, to be honest, at the moment, considering I've got 175,000. Most of the roads are pretty good. And yeah, that's it. I was trying to play SimCity earlier today, and I realized that I don't know if it's because of an update, but I wasn't able to use the Street View mod. I pressed on the tab a few times and nothing happened. I hope that gets sorted out, because one of the high points of that game, I think, is the street view thing. I wish you had a similar thing here. It'd be cool to be able to drop down to street level. So I'm on fast speed. You can see I've got a little bit of park areas left there in the middle, but most of the map is quite getting built up now. The thing about SimCity that I still think is a huge advantage to CitySkylines, that there's simply more things you can do. I mean, I've started tourism here, and I could work my way through all of these hotels. For instance, I've never really managed to successfully implement the elegant casino. So it'd be fun. It would take up time doing that. That would keep me occupied. You've got you've got these things, the towers, the mega towers and the elite mega towers. I mean, there's quite a few hours of building in them and keeping them going, and they look kind of cool. You can work on putting some more of these in. You can put this thing in, the archaeology launch thing, and that's not mentioning all the trading things that you can work on, and the electronics. And of course, one of my favorites, you've got the Omega plant, which can really do great crazy kind of things to your town. And I have tried out most of these things, probably. I mean, I've tried them all out at some point or other. And I do remember at the beginning of this game, back in 2013, I think it came out, I spent many a night going through trying to build the great works. The first time I built the Space Center, and the first time I built the archaeology, and I was literally up all night getting all the stuff that you need for that. The game kept me absorbed for hours and hours. And although the land here isn't maybe not as big as you'd like it to be, and perhaps there is the style here which is maybe not as realistic in some senses to CitySkylines, because in certain ways perhaps CitySkylines does look a bit more realistic, and the dynamic of the roads are more realistic, and just the general look of it. This is more stylized, but I quite like the stylized look. And the more a town develops like this, the better it looks. But it is on that just the objectives and the things to do, and that's where City Skylines falls down, I think. Unless I'm missing something and I'm being an idiot, and I'm just not, I'm not getting the whole package of City Skylines. I mean, I know in City Skylines you can mess around with the politics, you can create various districts, you can have a smoking ban in one district, or you can have a low tax or no tax in another. You can do various things like that, but to me they all seem like cosmetic things. It's nothing that, there's no objective at the end of it. It's like the industries in City Skylines. You can get into forestry or coal mining, but it's very shallow. It means that the factories you zone in look a little bit different. That's all. There isn't really anything else to do, unless, like I say, unless I'm missing something completely. The only thing to do on City Skylines would seem to be that you just want to keep building and building and building. And there is, of course, all those extra assets now, so you can make your city quite something with the amount of extra items. It's like a terrorist attack. That's like it's been an explosion or something in it. Yeah, you can really make things look beautiful in City Skylines. Now they have snow as well, but I'll still stick with my point that there is just simply more to do. It's like there's more gadgets in SimCity. And although I think the Maxis company is gone now that is responsible for this, it's a shame they didn't bring out some more packs where they could have. I know they brought out the Cities of Tomorrow thing, which was pretty cool, especially for the industry, the Amigo. But it would have been great if they'd brought out some more of these city specializations. You know, you've got them all here. They added 2 on. It's a pity they couldn't have added another 3 or 4. Maybe something to do with space exploration again from your town that you build stuff, or some kind of high-tech industry that affects the city in another way. Oh, what would have been fantastic if you could work on some city specialization which allowed you to interact much more with the other towns. Something that really created some dynamic between one town and the next, because that for me has been one of the greatest disappointments in this game. That, okay, if you want to build something here and you need lots of oil, you can get the oil here and you get the coal here and whatever, but that's about it. There's not really much that these squares have to do with each other. You can send money from here to here, but it would have been great to come up with a specialization that really allowed those towns to work together somehow much more closely. So why did you go away? Too many deaths. It's abandoned. Now, does that mean it'll ever come back? Sometimes abandoned buildings, they can come back, can't they? Or should I just... Maybe I should just... bulldoze it. I don't get these parks here too. They say there's undesirables about... I mean, why is that? I've got... Don't I have plenty of jobs and everything? I've certainly got plenty of money, so why... And these aren't here that long. I only put them in, I don't know, in Sims time, maybe 6 months ago, so I don't know. I don't know why there are people congregating there. These are actually two parks joined together. The graphics, obviously here as well, because it's a smaller area. They could really go to town on the graphics, and the graphics of the models and the parks in SimCity is miles ahead of any of the graphics in CitySkylines. I think most people would have to agree with that. I don't think you can compare the two in terms of graphics. The models and everything on CitySkylines are not too bad. But, yeah, it's just that problem finding things to do. I have a town in CitySkylines that I'm playing at the moment. And, my population has gone over 100,000, and I've just used up about 3 squares. But I don't know what to do. All I can think of doing is just, you know, adding in more and more. And sometimes there isn't any demand for stuff, and then you can add in lots of parks and stuff like that. I've got lots of money. I've got to the major monument section and I've used all of them, so I don't need to worry about power, I don't need to worry about education. And every now and again you get this death wave and you get all these messages saying a dead person hasn't been taken away, and even if it's a skyscraper, if you get that message once, the whole building will go. And that is one of the things as well. It's another thing that doesn't make sense, because I've had situations where I've had, you know, 20 of those cemeteries back to back, but because they're a little too far away, or, you know, they don't work, and it's disproportionate to the amount of people you have, and it's just, you know, you don't get thousands and thousands of people just dropping dead all at the one time. And anyway, it's just one of those things I don't like in that game. So there's plenty of buildings that seem to be abandoned and whatnot. But there's lots of growth going on here. That's cool. I've got a school here. Got a football field there, which is probably not going to be used because it's in the middle of the industry. But I've got this community college here, which is full, and that's having a great effect on the tech level around here, which is also very handy for the nuclear plant. Over here I got lots of buses. And you can see how busy this whole area is. I can't for the life of me understand how there could possibly be no shoppers in this building. How could you not have shoppers? You've got 3 casinos here. You've got hotels all around the place. And you've got 3 bus terminals here. You can burn down, you can leave because of crime, You can leave because you've got no water or power, but don't say you've got no shoppers, because that's stupid. That's kind of beyond stupid. And the money is rolling in. It's a pretty busy looking place now. Lots of taxis. Let's speed it up a bit. I've been watching some things today on YouTube. I watched some stuff about conspiracy theories, because you find a lot of conspiracy theories on YouTube. And then I found a man who's written a couple of books about interpreting the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament, and I didn't really follow that. He was I think it's something called the Hidden Realm or something, talking about the meaning of the text. I did listen to it for a while, but I couldn't find how it had any bearing on me. And in fact, with the conspiracy theories, I couldn't find how they have any bearing on me either. In fact, there's so much on the internet. People write books about things, quantum mechanics. I'm always attracted to the notion that quantum mechanics may lead to different ways of looking at human consciousness. But again, I watch some of these programs, and then after, because they can be very absorbing. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube. You watch it, and it may be about time travel, or about the possibilities, the law of probabilities, relativity. But it's a good trick. Maybe it's not a trick. It's a good thing to do sometimes, is to sit back, pause on whatever you're watching, and say, how does this affect me? Sometimes we let ourselves think that this is big news and this is affecting us, you know. But you'd be surprised how much of the time, when you think about it, it doesn't. It has nothing to do with you at all. Anyway, this is where I started. This square here. Everything else is coming up slowly but surely. I'm almost at 200,000. And what else could I do here? Is that building or... That's a peculiar building. These are... I haven't seen some of these before. These factories. Oops. Uh-oh. That's gonna mess up my... that's gonna mess up my recording, my OBS, because that was... I had it all set up right in the center. That might be a good time to say adios for now. I like this town. It's heading toward a pretty big population, and it's one of the few towns I've built that doesn't seem to have huge traffic problems. I mean, the traffic's running pretty freely on most places. Not here, perhaps. Or not here. Maybe that was just high hope. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for now, just to make sure that this is still being captured properly, because I just moved the whole thing. When I come back to do episode 8, I guess it'll be, I may go down here. If you can just see in the distance here, I have started a small little plantation. There's about 200 people living there by the river. And here as well, I'm going to have to think of stuff to do. It's a big space here. You really, if all of these places grow up to their full size, their full potential, all of these over here, I mean, all of these, then I don't know, the population could almost double, I think. I may get up to 400,000. Of course, if I get up to 400,000, there probably would be no cars moving at that point. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope all is well with you, whoever you are, and I shall leave the episode here and hopefully upload something new in the next few days. Bye for now.